Steelseries make the boom, boom, boom. Everybody say, well, well. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety WookiE XXXL. Today I've got the Arena 7s, which I thought were Arena 5s because the other ones are Arena 3, but then they just skip 5 and go to 7 and then 9 after that and stuff. And I'm very confused by all of this initially, but now I kind of got the base standpoint of the situation. And these I was very excited for because subwoofer, and it just completes the audio tone and profile and stuff. And I was very excited to see what they did because primarily there's a long port on top and not a circular round one that just makes a we don't go in for that. That is for, 19-year-olds with their first Golf Mark 1. That's for you over there on the side, okay? You want some nice audio quality. And that's kind of what they did, but then they made the speakers fast and furious as well. But before I get too carried away and digress into the depths of the sea, let's talk about what's in the box. Well, you get the 2 satellite speakers like this over here with very, very beefy cables. I mean, significantly beefy because they have to carry audio and then some RGBness. So cable memory is going to be a thing. The right one is more beefier than the left one because it includes the controls and stuff on the right side speaker. Then we have the little included micro USB cable, which is the primary way they want you to connect this to your system. I kind of like this because then it takes the signal digitally, so it's not going to be, subject to noise or anything like that. And then you're going to be able to control your RGB and stuff from there. Then we have the subwoofer itself, really the centerpiece of this, setup. It's a 6.5-inch downward firing as well, which is exactly what you want. If you don't know, bass travels along the floor and you are going to want to floor it. The difference between being on the table and being on the desk is massive. So yeah, be prepared to set up like that. And in that preparation, you're going to have more than enough cable to be able to reach either of the satellites. So they've done a good job on that. Having a closer look at the subwoofer, if you look at the back, you'll notice there's 2 special types of connections. I can't remember exactly what those ports are called, but they can only go in one way. And they've made sure of that with how they've keyed it, etc., on the connectors from the 2 satellites themselves as well. So good job there. Normal infinity plug into the back as well, or figure 8. I really like those because they're super easy to replace. Dime a dozen. You can go to pretty much any PC or like audio shop and buy a 3-pin for that. Then, as we've already mentioned, there is the Type-C. Then you have your 3.5mm aux below that, so you can still connect it on a 3.5mm jack. No included cable with that, however. And then next to that, you've got some optical outs, which are on the TOS link certification as far as I'm aware. So they'll be able to interface with like high-end media players, etc., and other sound systems, which is kind of sick. Moving around the bottom of the sub, we come to the only real detractor for me from this kit, which is the cone on this is a paper cone. All of the media and lead up stuff to it looked like it was going to be Kevlar, which is obviously significantly more expensive. And there's no real tonal difference between them. It's just a Kevlar cone can't actually tear without you physically cutting it. No amount of dust or whatever that gets in there is going to allow that to tear. So it just means that it's going to last a lot longer. My 12-inch sub is a paper cone though, so it doesn't mean that it's going to die at any point. It's just that has a dust cover on it and isn't downward firing like this is. So just be a little bit careful with humidity and stuff, and playing it a little bit hard when it is a humid day. There is paper cones, it's paper, so it has all of the problems of paper. But as far as like audio reproduction and stuff goes, it's doing a really good job, which we'll get into a moment. The satellites setup is a lot different. There's this polyurethane type of finish cone at the bottom over here for the 3-inch with like a really nice polyurethane around the outside, and then silk dome tweeters up top. So they went for the expensive tweeter and then cheapened out on the sub a little bit, which is not the end of the world. This is very similar to what I actually daily drive as a setup. So yeah, they've done a good job as far as the satellites go, I have to say. The lighting, I don't know where I stand on that. I think it's a little bit over the top. The diffusing isn't great. It's, if you look at these from behind, you can see where all the LEDs are and stuff, but it's meant to be for ambient. It is sound reactive as well. So if you have like a Bluetooth stuff or a Bluetooth things connected to it, then it's going to flash and stuff with your music. So it's a nice little touch, I think. I just don't, I think if that's what you're into and you want the ambiance and stuff on your table, then it's a no-brainer because it comes with it. And then if you don't want it, you can plug it in with the USB and use the software to then turn it off. As far as controls go, they're all over here on the right-hand side. You've got your volume knob on top once again, exactly the same as the Arena 3s, with then the button below to mute and unmute, and then change between your different sources as well. So you activate your Bluetooth from there. Everything is controlled off of that there bottom button. So exactly the same as the Arena 3s as well, and that was a good thing about them. The Bluetooth is pretty damn good. It has very good range, absolutely no loss in audio quality really. The speakers generally do have a little bit of an edge there over headphones because the soundstage is not right on top of you, so you miss out on like bad compression of the song, etc., where you are using speakers. And it really brings me around to their tone and how these things have been set up. So I'm very, very impressed with the kit on how it sounds. Its sound and audio profile is very good, very flat in general, a little bit sharp on the high end. It is very crisp, but it's not offensive, which is nice. It doesn't hurt the ear with it. So it's very, very crisp. It's very digital. It doesn't have like that tube amp sort of warmth to it, which we'd, you know, normally sort of hear, especially with older high-end equipment. So this is very digital, it's very clinical in the way it comes across, but it is quite pleasant. And the sub, the balance and the volume and stuff is properly good. It has a huge amount of range. It really only starts to come in at about the 40 to 50% of the volume using the volume on the back of the sub over here. I found about 70% to be balanced, but you can go quite a lot higher than that without distortion. It is a big thing with these Arenas I've been impressed by so far is they don't distort underneath their max volume. So we'll do a little sound test, which I'll have for you on screen, showing the max potential volume of these, but they go very loud. Pretty much the same as the Arena 3s. They are exceptionally loud if you need them. So filling up a PC type room or even an open space, like if you were to use these in your lounge or something like that, you will have absolutely no problems filling up the space. So that's the tones, ins and outs, and all the extras covered. What do I think of them? Well, I'm stuck here in a little bit of a spot. Compared to the other 2.0 set, I thought those were incredibly good value for what they were coming through at a price point for the, you know, sound enthusiast, etc. They really did hit sort of the right tones and note, and everything on that felt pretty damn good value. And these, they're just pricing themselves up considerably and putting themselves in the firing line of like higher-end bookshelf speakers. I mean, these are 7,000 Rand locally, and for that, I genuinely think they should have included a Kevlar cone. Just for that, I think you should probably look at like 500 to 1,000 Rand less. So like a 10%, 10 to 20% even-ish discount, you know, over the current price. I think that would make them a lot more fair just based on the materials used. The tone, audio, everything else, the enclosure, the stands, the feet, everything is really good. I'm really, really happy with it in general outside of that. That's really the only drawback for me on the entire product. The connectivity suite, the Bluetooth is fantastic once again. I absolutely love the Bluetooth. I didn't even feel the need to really connect them to my PC with anything else because the audio and stuff was so good. I connected them on aux to my phone, which has a really good, you know, 24-bit sound card in, and there was no real, you know, discernible difference. So the really good thing about this is these speakers will make audio sound better just from their processing and their compression and stuff. It really doesn't matter how you connect it, you're still going to get really good audio out of them, which is a big plus. I think the LEDs are a little bit much for me. I think that's a bit over the top. Maybe you guys want to have that flashiness on your desk, and the audio reactive mode and stuff is nice for like 10 minutes, and then maybe it's a little bit annoying. So it would be nice to just be able to turn them off, you know, at will. Everything is pretty good. Everything is pretty good. All around, I'm pretty impressed. I think Steelseries is, for their first like real high-end audio, they've kind of, in general, it looks like this product line is knocking it out of the park. The splits are good. It was really nice to include the Silk Dome tweeters in these. It just made those highs like that much sharper and clearer. So, and the stereo split, I've got to say this, for a speaker system, like a complete system like this, these have literally some of the best stereo splits you'll ever hear, to the point you can almost virtual barbershop on them. That's how good it is. They've made the cables long enough so that the sub can sit on the floor quite comfortably. Like it's been thought out. I just think the cutting corner on that material is the only detractor from me, and would be something I would seek to see a little bit of discount against. But as far as 2.1 kits go, this is probably the best sounding one I've ever tested. Anywho, that is all I have for you on the Steelseries Arena 7s. If you have enjoyed this review, then please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.
How could you leave me so long? So will I feel it?